0, 1. Let's get started.
Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host, Andreas. And today we're going to talk about the whole Dan Houston situation coming to Collingwood and how I think he could actually make it to Collingwood. However, it involves three clubs, us, obviously Port Adelaide, and we have to bring another club in to make the deal happen. And this is how I think we do it. So we all know pretty much once the season had finished, within days of the season finishing, John Noble requested a trade to the Gold Coast. Collingwood's obviously playing hardball with that whole trade scenario, which, rightly so, we've got the upper hand in the sense of, you want him, we've got what you want, how bad do you want it? Because we're happy to hold on to it. And if there's another way we can get Dan Houston, I'll be wrapped, because I'd love to hold on to Johnny Noble, but at the same time, if he's asked to go because he wants to be close to his brother and his old man, go. It's fine, right? Anyway, but we still got to get a decent compensation out of it. Now, the other part to this, I think, and I'm trying to connect the dots here, and if I've missed something, then please correct me in the comments, because then this whole video is just a waste of time, but I've been thinking about the last 12 hours or so, and I'm thinking, how can we fit everything in that we need to get a Dan Houston in? And then obviously Jake Stringer's not coming, so we could go into the delisted players and we could pick someone up for basically nothing who can have a major impact. Matt Taberner, perfect, right? So this is what I think. Gold Coast want Johnny Noble, even though Collingwood reportedly hasn't asked for pick 12 or whatever it is. Let's just say we come out and Leppich decides, nah, fuck this, we're playing hardball, we want your pick 12 for Johnny Noble. Gold Coast are obviously going to come back and say, oh, I don't think so, he's 20, 26, whatever it is. We need that pick 12. So what we can do is, we can give one of our third rounders, this is how I think it would work. We give one of our third rounders, which is, we could even give pick 33 or whatever it is, even though that'll go down because of the compo picks and stuff. But let's say we give that 30s pick to them. That could potentially even be a late second rounder, I think. So you give Johnny Noble and that pick in the 30s. You give that to Gold Coast in return just for pick 12, which I think is fair. I mean, if you look at players who were gone in the draft in previous times at higher picks, and Johnny Noble was mid-season draft, you look at other higher picks and they were crap. I mean, sorry, but look at the entire Essendon list and look at all their top 10 draft picks. You could probably say about maybe 2 or 3 of them are worthy of it, and John Noble is miles above them. And the guys we picked him up from the mid-season draft because nobody wanted him, right? So I think he's worth pick 12. Yeah, he didn't play in the flag. That was a structural decision. But he played every game last year and was pretty consistent, I thought. So for pick 12, Johnny Noble plus a late second rounder or early third rounder, I think that's fair. Anyway, I'm being optimistic, yeah? I'm trying to see the light in all this shit, yeah? So if we were to grab that and give that to Gold Coast, get the pick 12 in return, we then go to Port Adelaide, go to Ken Hinkley and say, morning, grab Joe Richards, who you want, who you've tabled and offered to, right? So we might as well do this because, you know, otherwise the guy walks. He's not contracted with us or whatever, he walks, yeah? I just hope by the time I post this now that something hasn't popped up and this whole thing's a waste, but it is what it is. We give Joe Richards to Port Adelaide. They want him, right? Plus pick 12 for Dan Houston. Done. So we'll take Dan Houston. We'll give you the pick 12 we got from Gold Coast, right? Plus Joe Richards. So we lose Noble, we lose Richards, we get Houston, right? Then we obviously need more draft picks. So that's something the club can work out. They might trade for futures or whatever it is and get one in. So we've at least got, I think we have to have like 3 picks in the draft. Big whoop, right? We can probably trade off Ash Johnson. We can probably trade off McRae. We can probably trade off McGuinness or something for a couple of picks here and there to get those picks up. But that's the club's list management strategies. They do that stuff every year. There's going to be more delistings, who knows? But if to get Dan Houston in, these 2 other clubs want those players. I just can't see why they couldn't make that happen. Now, he could turn around and say, I'm going to Carlton later this afternoon, and, fuck, it is what it is. But if these 2 clubs want these 2 players from us, without any much draft capital this year at all, that's the only way that I can see it happening. What does that mean for the Kennedy stuff with Carlton? Would you want him in? Yeah. I mean, like, we're linked to fucking every Tom, Dick and Harry. Anyone that's half decent, you think, fuck, he'd be nice. It's silly season. Every club's like that. Would Kennedy be something that I could see in our team? Like, if we were to turn around this trade period, and we've lost Noble, we've lost Richards, but we've got Kennedy and we've got Houston, I'd be like, whoa, hang on a second. Like, hello, that's a pretty fucking good deal. With that being said, though, in the case of Tom Mitchell being fighting fit this season, no injuries, and he's ready to go, I can't see having Kennedy and Tom Mitchell on the same list. Like, I just don't see how that's going to work. Even if Mitchell decides he's only playing for 1 more year, right? Let's just say he retires at the end of the season. I don't know how you're going to do it, because I feel like Kennedy then would have to play in the forward line, or he'd have to play in the back line. He'd have to steer clear of the middle while Tom Mitchell's in there. Excuse me. I think Tom Mitchell offers something that not a lot of players offer in the whole league. The way he's in under the packs. Yeah, he's a bit slower than he was when he was at Hawthorn, but the feeding out from the pack, like, we missed that this year, especially with Taylor Adams going to Sydney, right? Regardless if he didn't play in the grand final either, you've got those options that are gone, and Kennedy would fill that void something awesome, and he could potentially be the Jack Cripps 2.0. You know what I mean? I think he'd work well with him in the midfield, but I can't see him and Titch working together. Like, you couldn't play them both in the same midfield. You'd have to give Kennedy a year in a different position. But then we're sort of stacked in the forward line, especially if we are looking for another tall forward. So there's all these pieces to the puzzle there. And then let's just say my theory was correct and we got a Dan Houston in, right, which the likeliness of it happening is, I don't know, he's going to nominate which club he wants to go to first. But if we were to get him, then obviously that's another spot in the back line that's been taken up. So how could it work? Do you just get him and sacrifice him for a year and say, listen, you might play in the VFL, blah, blah, but what then are you going to give for it? Are you going to try and trade off other players to get picks in to give to Carlton, and then Carlton's like, no, I don't want that? Really, it's the same thing with, like, when I was talking about the potential of us getting Stringer. If the club doesn't want you, like, if the club genuinely doesn't want you, then you sort of can't be asking for a lot in return. The difference between us in that situation with Johnny Noble going to Gold Coast is that we still want him. So we value him. We haven't told him, hey, go look for another club. He's told us, I want to look for another club. And we've said, we understand, we'll respect your wishes, but if you can't find anything, like, tough titties, bro, you're not fucking going nowhere. And I'm really proud of the club for doing that. Like, they're saying, hey, listen, like, you're not Ollie Henry fucking 2.0. You know, don't go back in the fucking womb. It's fine. you can stay with us, and if we can find a viable trade, then you can piss off. And I think that the club's got a bit of balls by saying that, because I tell you what, 3-4 years ago in the Buckley era, and this is no disrespect to Bucks, not that he'll fucking watch, but this we would have been like, yep, fuck off, see you later, and got a late third rounder and been fucking in the hole. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got this morning. But I was thinking about the whole Dan Houston thing. So just to recap, it's Johnny Noble, a late second rounder, early third rounder, to Gold Coast for pick 12. We then grab that pick 12, Joe Richards, bundle it together. Port want Joe Richards. There you go, take it. We get Dan Houston in return. It'd be nice if they gave us Dan Houston and a late third rounder or a future third just as a bit of a sweetener, but Port will be like, go fuck yourself, it's fine. So, whatever, it is what it is. But that's just a recap. There's a whole bunch of trade scenarios happening. I'm a bit funny with the whole Carlton, like, wanting to trade off all these players, because I think that's their play to get Dan Houston. But it'd be really funny if we were to get Dan Houston and Matt Kennedy and take Carlton's scraps, because I really think Matt Kennedy could be someone who we could utilise and like sort of nurture and grow, and he could play 100 games for Collingwood over the next few years. I think he's 27, 28. Could be wrong. I don't know. But it is what it is. Leave your comments below. Last few videos have gone fucking gangbusters in my mind. Like, you know, almost 2,000 views in one, 1,500 the other. The last one got like over 500. My subscribers have gone to over 120 something. So I'm really appreciative of that. Going live tonight with PIES Footy, which is going to be fucking insane. So make sure you jump on YouTube, to his YouTube, at roughly about 6:30 on PIES Footy, and we're doing a live stream together, which is going to be awesome. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support. It's been awesome. Call it as you see it. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about the whole Dan Houston situation and what we could do to get him, if we are going to get him or not. And we'll go from there. Thank you so much, and enjoy your day.